seas. It's on pillars on top of a watery deep.
Oh, yeah, we heard all that. We heard all those
Hello.
knowledge. So where is any shred of evidence? Because I'm convinced by evidence. Where's the evidence for it?
You mean NASA's fake CGI photos? I don't have that.
No, just evidence. A body of information that's concordant with or explicitly indicative of one position above any other.
Why do you have that memorized?
And silence.
The Black Swan, of course.
No, that shows the horizon isn't there geometrically where it's supposed to be. That undermines the geometric claim of the ball, which demands that the horizon is 1.22 times the height of the observer, the square root of the height of the observer in feet away.
Okay, fucking Quantum Eraser Jr., because the second sentence of his citation explicitly says that the geometric horizon is a mathematical estimation of where the horizon would be if the Earth had no atmosphere. So, oops.
So you get to write yourself any amount of refraction, like a safety blankie. Then we get to write ourselves any amount of refraction as well.
Nobody made any amount because it was fractions of a percent that would change the position of the horizon based on the atmospheric conditions of 83 degrees, because I checked it, of ambient air temperature versus the 62 degrees of the water temperature. Begins right there begins your high refractive index, which was fractions of a degree. Oops.
I got it. You have a general ball claim that you get to pad with any amount of refraction. So we're going to need to look to see how consistent this claim is.
Since the invention of the telescope, refraction has been studied. They did look into it, yeah. And it's been looked into for 500 fucking years. And well documented. And replicatable by everybody from me to including you if you would ever try to back up any of your bullshit assertions. But you just sit back and say you don't have to bother testing your assertions since it's so apparently obvious to you.
I've seen refraction through a straw, but there's a marked discontinuity in the medium. You're invoking refraction, trying to say that something can be lifted over a ball where the real image is down below the ball and the fake image is being lifted over the ball. But we don't see two images. And so at that point, you're kind of begging the question without actual evidence that what you're saying is the case, namely a duplicated refracted image, split like the straw in the water from going from the air to the water.
You know, we looked into it, and the position of astronomical bodies like stars at zenith have no refraction, and it has very, very little increase until you get within a couple of degrees of the horizon. And yeah, the optics of atmosphere, also something that's been looked into. Yeah, got it. You didn't look into it. You admit you've made no test of your assertions with proper tooling.
I've amplified my thought with different theories. Myopic, competent people like yourself have done experiment after experiment going nowhere because you haven't thought about it from a different place. But refraction does occur, but it may just be magnification over a flat surface where the image is actually there right in front of your face with no obstruction, just, magnified, blown up like a blimp. You're basically assuming that the image is being lifted up over an obstruction and duplicated, but you're not actually showing evidence that that's the case. So I'm going to have to say that you're begging the question there.
Well, I'm begging the question. How did you test your assertions with proper instruments? The answer is never. You admit never.
And people have gone out on multiple days, and guess what? Guess what they don't see, Lemon? Because looking at the whole picture, they see that the structural steel of the flare that's poking off the left-hand side of the tower, guess what? That structural steel on any given day is straight, but when there's a high refractive index, we see it fucking curled up like a goddamn spaghetti noodle. We see straight steel that's coming off of that being fucking manipulated or contorted in a way that it's not on any other given day.
What?
So that's hazy distortion, but that doesn't equal refraction where the image is duplicated and brought over a ball. That's just too much like begging the question. That's just
It's
hazy
not
distortion.
fiction. It's the
And you could have the
definition of
image right in front
refraction.
of you, hazed and distorted, without it being lifted over a ball.
It's the definition of refraction.
Right.
The way that you're invoking refraction, though, is an image lifted over the ball to basically bring something to your eye that would normally be obstructed. Those elements, or I'm going to have to reject your implied interpretation.
Have you tested your methods with proper tooling? Have you
tested your assumptions for logical consistency? Have you tested the basis of your philosophy?
Well, your assumptions are illogical. You presuppose everything.
He's not illogical. When he talks about 5G and, like, you know, the Rona, sometimes he is, because he's going on, you know, speculation, everybody's fear. But when he's talking about the Earth, he's pretty on point, actually.
No, he's not.
Well, what's logically inconsistent about the heliocentric model, in your opinion?
What's logically inconsistent about it? Where do you want to start?
Just anything.
Well, let's start with the Big Bang.
Okay.
So that has to do with the start of the universe. That doesn't have anything to do with the heliocentric model.
It has everything to do with this. It has everything to do with this.
Let's not start with the Big Bang.
The Big Bang's where it all begins.
Well, let's start a little bit later than that, since nobody has an answer on the Big Bang. After the Big Bang,
I'll be quiet. Just let me say my point.
They're getting scared.
It all starts, guys. Listen,
but
get real. It
Guys,
all starts
let him
at the
talk.
Big
Let him
Bang.
Get real. The Earth is tangible and
It
current
all
events.
starts at the Big Bang, and you guys are saying that it's logically consistent. You have fuck all.
That has nothing to do with the heliocentric model.
Our creation story is bunk. Get used to it.
So's yours.
It's bullshit.
We're not speaking about the creation story. We're speaking about the shape.
No
of
one
the
can prove the Big Bang. No
Okay,
one.
You gotta let them talk now, okay? You gotta let them
No
talk.
one can prove the Big Bang.
Let me
So
ask
what,
you-
though?
Prove me wrong.
No one can. So what? So what?
Prove the Big Bang.
No one can do it. So what, bro? No one can do it. So what?
It's game over. We've been
No, it's not game over.
Game over. I don't know where that basketball was manufactured. It's not a basketball. I'm sorry.
Where did it all come from, guys? Where did it
We
all
don't
come
know,
from,
Merle.
guys?
No one knows. No one knows.
Oh,
No one knows.
okay. So you're talking about what?
Somebody there who knows. We need to talk to God. You got to talk to
Hey,
the
talk to God. When you find out where it all came from, let us know. But like seriously, we don't know the answer to. We don't say we do. No one ever claims to. So what does it matter? So what does it matter where it came from right now?
Why don't we admit that we don't know?
What did I just say, Merle? No one knows where it came from. We've
Word
never
up.
said we did though.
M. Scott Veach. New terrain, bro.
What?
New terrain.
Merle. So
I'm saying we don't know where it all
Where
came
it's
from.
gonna
No one said that they did.
Listen,
Merle,
they
who
say
made
the
this?
revolution will not be televised. Listen,
Merle.
guys,
Oh my God.
it's
Oh
happening.
my God.
Merle,
Oh
how
my
was this
God.
made? I
So-
made a quick
No,
picture. How was
we
this
are.
made?
This is the awakening of Earth. This is
So
what's
you made
happening
it.
right now.
Merle, let
If-
me get a word in. Okay, so one, the Big Bang is an explanation of the hyperinflation of the universe from a given point. What kick-started that, we don't know. So fucking what?
Well,
Right,
if we
exactly.
don't know what got the whole thing started, where are we?
Well, we
In the
can't,
universe.
we
Well,
can't
I got
settle
a quick
the Big
question.
Bang.
It's
Fantastic question. Absolutely
it's a-
One at a time, guys. One at a time. One at a time, guys. One at a time.
We can't settle the Big Bang through experiments, and something that cannot be settled through experiment is not worth debating. So, do you have any other inconsistencies?
Good morning.
Well,
Can you at
I'm not
least-
sure about that, but
Can,
so
can
something
you at
that
least,
can't be
as
settled
a
through experiment
human
is certainly
being-
worth debating.
guys, there's an opportunity here. Can you at least, as a human being, acknowledge
Oh my Christ.
that if you don't have a beginning, where do you start? It's your story.
Well, that's
You
where
pick
my
anywhere to
You
question
don't have a
comes.
beginning.
That's where my
You
question
pick where you
comes
want to
in,
start.
Merle. I
You choose
posted
it
an image.
arbitrarily.
So where do you start? It's like
Wherever
it's
you
like
can.
Logic.
I'm trying to get in
Logic
here.
is
You
a part
start
of
where you
reality,
can, Merle.
right?
You start where you can. You start exactly where you can.
Exactly.
Merle, let's
So what?
start.
So let's build,
Let's start with my
guys,
image.
right now. Let's
Damn.
try to
We've
build
already
what
started,
we
Merle. We
see.
started 400 years ago.
Merle,
But
let's start
try
with
to
my
deal with
image
what
right
we
now. I got
see.
Well, let him
How
speak,
does it all
Scott.
just replicate? Veeks,
I
what
am.
if you're right about the simulator? Did it all
Yeah.
just replicate itself?
No, I don't. I don't think the simulator tells us really where it came from because you have the regression problem of well, where did the simulation universe, the universe that simulated this come from? You have the same problems. All the same problems still exist.
I would like to try and get in here at least once.
Sorry,
Okay, Maya, please
sorry.
go ahead. Maya,
Sorry.
go ahead.
Okay, Mr. Merle, I posted an image at 11:42. I want you to tell me the shape of that. Roughly, yeah. Just
I'm on
give it a
my
general
phone.
shape.
I'm on my
You can
phone.
look on your phone. It's just a picture.
Oh, do I have to?
I'd like you to.
Okay. What is it?
What shape is that?
Oh, I can't. Fucking hell.
It's kind of like an oval, right?
Yes.
Do you know where it was made? Do you know where it was made? Who made it?
Just tell him where.
What manufacturer? No, the point is you can tell the shape regardless of whether you know where it was made, how it was made.
Is that a
It
cheese
exists.
grater? Is that a cheese grater?
It's actually a flashlight.
Okay.
But you don't know
So
the
what's the
provenance of it, but yet you know it exists and you know that it has a shape.
No, it came from
Yeah.
Harbor Freight.
Yes, it
The
did.
Big Bang. Let's go back to the Big Bang.
You
But
see
you
how
don't
I
know who
nailed
made
that,
it.
Maul? I knew exactly where it came from because I know where the Earth came from.
Where did it come from?
I'm not telling you until you produce your model.
That's double standards.
Well, can you determine a
Fair,
shape
Merle.
without knowing where something came from?
Well, why don't we work together?
Can you determine a shape without knowing its provenance?
Yeah.
Okay, then we don't need to go back to the Big Bang.
Bullshit.
Heliocentric model has nothing to
not?
do with the Big Bang except for its origin.
Don't be lazy. Don't be lazy, you faggot.
Hey, Merle, come on, don't do that.
No, I don't mean it. I'm just
Don't
being
fair.
cheeky. Yeah, sorry.
I beat your little cheeky ass into a pulp.
No, but you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
We'll be cool. We're smart enough to get through this.
Well, why do you keep going back that far when we're just trying to determine shape? We're not trying to determine origin. They're two different questions.
Because
Well, the Big Bang made Earth, right? So
there's
the Big
too
Bang
many
made Earth.
assumptions, guys.
Who made this flashlight?
There's just too many assumptions. We're all realizing it. It just doesn't.
Well,
it's too
your worldview-
fantastical.
Your
Isn't it?
worldview
When you
assumes that
really
God
think about
created
it,
it
it's
all.
too fantastical.
There's no assumptions when they say we don't know what kick-started a particular event. That's not an assumption. That's going right now. We don't have enough information or the technology currently or the understanding to understand this. That's
It's
not
also
an
irrelevant to
well,
determining
guys.
this.
It works too well to be random.
It may not be random. Who gives a shit?
It's not.
What we're doing is we're
It's
measuring
obvious
shape.
it's not.
We're measuring shape and the movement of things.
No, the whole
not how they got
system.
moving.
The sun,
not
the
who moved them,
moon,
not who
the
touched them.
seasons, the whole thing. It's
Sure. I'll give you.
It's not random.
I'll let God set it up for you. That's
there's
fine. I
nothing
don't give a
random
shit.
about it.
It's not random.
It's not
Why-
random.
Who cares? Maybe it's not. Who
Well,
cares?
that
What's
proves
the shape?
design.
Boom.
We're trying to
That's
get
right.
somewhere with
So
this, not just
God designed a
argue
solar
forever.
system. So
That's
God designed a
boring.
heliocentric model. That's fine.
But why don't we try to figure it out?
Because it's unfigurable. Go ahead and you try and figure it out.
How about we have figured it out, the solar
No,
system.
they've given us a Doug
Yes.
story curved, a real dumbed down
No.
version of it.
Well, if you would take a look at it, this is observable.
I've looked at it so many times.
Well, you need to open your eyes, Merle.
Man, how long have you got to look at
Evidently-
bullshit to realize?
Evidently,
Well, it's
because when you're asked to describe
bullshit is the battle cry of the people that don't understand.
right, but, and Merle,
They're
evidently
fucking
you
rogue,
haven't
man.
looked
No, you
into
don't wanna
it
hear
because when
myself.
you're asked time and time again to explain what the Big Bang Theory actually says, you say completely opposite of what it actually does.
No. You
Yes.
go from nothing to everything we have.
No.
with no
when you
process, really.
when you say that, that demonstrates you don't know what it says, because only
I know exactly what it
creationists say
says,
that.
and it doesn't.
No, it does not.
There are so many laws, forces, synchronized watches. I mean, this stuff just hasn't just popped out of nowhere, mate. I don't care
Because
what you
that's
say
not
or
what the
think.
Big
I
Bang
don't
Theory
fucking
says.
agree.
That is a creationist fucking lie. That is a Kent Hovind and Ken Ham fucking lie about what the Big Bang Theory says.
Maybe we can get a topic. It's kind of like yes it is, no it isn't, yes it is, no it isn't. So maybe a topic.
You're allowed to have a conversation that you don't dictate where it goes.
No, it's not. I'm taking over. I'm just saying that
incapable.
You're just saying that. No, you haven't. Yes, we have. No, we haven't. Yes, we have. That's all we're hearing right now. Sure.
I don't
Yes,
care.
it is. No, it isn't. Is about the topic. The topic that they can't argue about.
I got you. The topic is yes,
that's
it is.
irrelevant to the actual debate.
I got you. Yeah, the topic is yes, it is. No, it isn't.
Pressure and black swans, and enough with it.
I thought the topic was heliocentric model.
Deeper and harder now.
Wasn't the topic heliocentric model?
No, curves of the topic is yes, it is. No, it isn't. Yes, it is. No, it isn't.
No, the topic was heliocentric model, and that drifted for some odd reason to the beginning, which is totally irrelevant to what is.
That's where everything comes from.
Irrelevant. You don't know where my flashlight was
it
yet.
Might
you know
be irrelevant to you. It's totally relevant to me. So who's right and who's wrong?
Well,
it's relevant anyway. That's how they get a spinning sphere.
And it's strange.
That's how you get the heliocentric model
of the object.
The heliocentric model doesn't speak
for 30 seconds.
The heliocentric model does not speak to the beginning of the universe.
Excuse me, doesn't Larry's picture show that the horizon is in front of the object behind it?
Try to build with it, with me, guys, the world we exist in from nothing. Let's go.
Go. Well, let's put it this way. The heliocentric model was developed prior to any knowledge or theory that the Big Bang existed. Hence, it is absolutely irrelevant to the model.
So it's not. So is that because you know what the fundamental flaw of the heliocentric model is?
No, it's not.
Has it self-replicated itself? Has it created itself?
How
did it fucking get here? It just didn't get here by itself. So something had to fucking create it.
Yeah, but how exactly do you propose to solve that question? It's an unknowable answer.
Because it's here.
It's unknowable to find out how it got here, right?
It functions perfectly.
We have to get outside of the universe in order to see where it came from, and we can't do that.
Not a star turns off.
Jesus Christ.
Everything is in
I got it. It's perfect. It's perfect. But do you hear what I said, though? Okay, but did you hear what I said?
You hear what I'm saying, though? Can you
I did. Did you hear what I said,
I know, and then I'll shut up.
Oh, my Christ.
From being
how about you just answer what I question?
Let's
answer my question instead of just keep running.
But from being in here all these years, Veach, I've figured it out.
I know you say this every time.
No, this is new.
Yes, you do.
This is new, though. This is a deeper realization. I know.
Well, did you answer my question? Could you answer my question?
Yeah, ask me. Okay, then I'll shut up.
My question was this: if in order to understand where the universe came from, we'd have to have a view or a perspective that goes outside the universe, and that seems fundamentally impossible. Isn't this the kind of thing that's just unknowable? And setting it up as if this is where the goal of everybody should be focused on, it seems asinine to me because we're never going to find the answer to that. Instead, we should focus on local things, things that are near us.
But if we can understand that there's a possibility that there is an intelligent designer or creator, that means also then that potentially there is a purpose for everybody and everything is a possibility. We think sometimes things are set in stone. They're not.
Yeah, but I think that's always...
Sorry.
Go ahead. Okay. Please.
I was just going to say, what if the creator created the Big Bang?
But only as far as perception of our understanding so far. You can't go any further than our own
How do you explain this image here? Look, the boat's going over curvature. That's the ball. That's the globe. How are you going to explain this?
There you go.
Larry,
The
why is
horizon's
Larry
in
muted?
front
Are you
of the
muted,
ship.
Larry? Why is Larry muted? Larry's picture.
Chemo.
On the second Tal. So look, Larry,
Sorry.
Merle. Larry's saying
Yep.
this is curvature. How are you going to debunk the fact that this is not Earth curve or? What are we going to do? They've got evidence.
I guess the main thing is if you really look at that image with a keen eye, it's silly to think that that boat is hiding behind curvature, because you know, after knowing about this for years, that beyond the horizon, it just extends to another horizon, and then that horizon extends to another horizon as far as the ocean goes to the land. That's how it happens.
So Larry, did you hear that? This is not evidence
But-
of Earth.
But it does that on a globe, though, Merle. It does that in a circle, not in a straight line.
Why did you mute Larry anyway? Why did he get muted?
I don't know. I didn't do it.
Well, fuck, I can't do it.
And think that I'm gonna have
Probably
to
one of the other moms.
soup. And
Do you hear that? Do you hear what I'm saying, Merle? It's not a straight line.
Hey,
It's not a
J-Mac.
straight line.
Is that J-Mac or iMac?
So, Merle, did you hear what I was saying about? It's not a straight line of horizons. It's they turn in a circle around the globe.
No,
Yeah, no moderator.
You hear that?
No
Merle?
moderator
He's
will
saying it
make it
curves.
and then
Oh,
be
he's saying
unmuted.
it curves.
no, it doesn't. It doesn't curve. The reason it doesn't curve is because all they can do is show us a little sphere in space. That's how and they show us the globe. That's the curvature.
Yeah, and
Meanwhile, on
well, yeah, it's a
Earth,
picture of the globe.
it's just a big level body, standing body of water. The whole Earth is level.
But it doesn't measure
bit of
as it doesn't measure
It
as
has
level.
to
It
be.
measures
Otherwise, the
it measures
water
as a
would
sphere.
run.
You know, when you can find me a lens big enough to take a photograph of the whole Earth as it is properly, yeah, show me the picture. Because I mean,
We have
well, I can
we have
do
those
it.
pictures now.
We cannot.
We
see
have
the whole
we have
thing.
those pictures now.
Yeah, I know,
We
but
do.
what I'm saying is that from the perspective of the point that you're actually looking at, yeah, it's far from what you'd be seeing if you was looking far, far, far away from it up in the bloody sky at altitude. You get me? I mean, what you're seeing there is a horizon in front of a ship. So really, you can see the actual rise towards the horizon, even though it's a false horizon. It's created by the actual sea level. The real horizon is behind the ship.
All the real images of Earth, the Earth is just the ground. There's no space. There's no stars. It's just Earth, and the stars
The
are just
sky is not real.
You have a bloody atmosphere
Whenever
in
you
the sky,
see the real
something like
pictures of
that,
Earth,
you know.
the higher you get, the more you can see of it. But it's just the ground.
See of what?
You
Well,
see,
if that was the case,
you're
if
looking
that was the
through
case,
the clouds.
Yeah,
but if that was the
you
case,
know, so you're
What
looking
you've got to
through the
remember
clouds
is that our
to the
eyeballs.
ground and the water.
What
And
you
the
gotta
higher
remember
you go, the more you can see of it.
Yeah, but over
It's not
distance,
in
our eyeballs
space.
do
It's just the
something called
ground.
well, let Tyler respond. Let Tyler
vision.
respond.
They obfuscate around the edges because we can't see beyond the diameter of our own eyeballs, you see. Our eyes
You
can only
can't see,
take in a
but
certain
you can't
diameter
see
of
all
light.
the Earth
What?
either.
Merle, you gotta let him
8
finish.
8 millimeters, right? And it goes into the back of your eye 15 to 20 millimeters, if that, yeah? And that's upside down, that image. And your brain's got to turn that image the right way up. So what are you really looking at? You're looking at a ball, aren't you?
No, you
Yeah,
can't
you are,
see
because
all
your
of
brain's
the Earth.
turning the image the other way up so you can see it as it is. The real horizon's
too
upside
big.
down.
Too big.
The real horizon is
So
They
Merle,
said it's
upside
small.
down.
It's
The world's
too big.
upside down.
It's all opposites, mate. You'll
Merle, there's
figure it
so
out one day,
You
Tal.
see
But
the
Merle,
world
there's so
really
many.
for what it is, but your brain turns it the right way up. It's a false
Yeah,
horizon.
I
It
do the
doesn't
right
exist.
thing with it.
You know, when you look through a
You've got to
telescope, you have to
contort
put an
yours.
angled
Mine's
45-degree
just even.
mirror in the way so that you can
You've
turn
got
the
to
image the right
contort
way
your
up.
brain and
Fuck
think
me,
you
they don't give up,
orbit
sorry.
500,000 miles around the sun through the solar system. I'm not doing that anymore. Good luck with that, mate.
Merle,
See you in
but Merle,
space.
there's so many local reasons, so many local measurements that we take. It'll tell us that this thing is not flat level like you described, and they're very simple. And you can do them yourself. Everyone can do them, and they're very clear. Like the fact that the horizon is getting lower and lower as you get higher and higher. That is evidence.
What about
That's very
sextant?
evidence. That's very good evidence. hold on. Let me just finish. There's very good evidence that the plane that we're on is not a plane. That the what extends out in front of you is actually curving away from you. Otherwise, if it was a plane, it would go all the way to your eye level.
But that's what happens.
It doesn't. If you use a theodolite, you'll see that as you go higher, that horizon drops lower and lower. As a point of fact, and you can do this.
When you go to altitude,
Yeah.
This isn't anything about you personally, but I've seen images that have nothing to do with you. I haven't taken them either, but I've seen images of looking down on Earth from space.
Okay.
And it doesn't look like a globe, and you can't see the whole thing.
Well, you can if you get far enough away. We have those pictures.
It's
but
white
did you see
from all the clouds, and the clouds are flat too.
Well, it depends on how far away you are. We have pictures of the whole Earth from far enough away. But did you hear what I said though? If it was flat, it would raise to the level of your eye level. The horizon would, but it doesn't. The theodolite will show you that it actually
it's
drops.
almost like they're showing two worlds, because they're showing people the globe, but then there's also footage that shows that it's not. So what's the real one?
Well, it's like there was more than one Charlie's Angels. It was like there's three, but then they had one that got recast, and then the fourth season they brought in an entirely new set for a total of 7 Charlie's Angels.
Right.
Oh, I thought we were just ignoring each other and saying random shit when it was our turn.
No, listen, you've seen it. The Red Bull.
I'm telling you a point that you're ignoring completely is my point.
I'm not, because I'm saying we're being shown two worlds. We're being shown the level plane and the globe at the same time. They're fucking with us.
They're not, dude. They're showing you the globe every single time. Every time they're showing you the globe. You can see for yourself with simple measurements that the globe.
Meanwhile, it's not. That's the
it is though. The simple measurements you take will show it to you. You can look at pictures from space and see that it's a globe. How in the world can you not recognize? By the way, when I say to you the horizon is dropping as you go up in elevation, why you don't think to yourself, I should go try that. If he's right, I guess I should change my mind. Why that doesn't cross any flat earther's mind, I don't understand. Like, why not just go see?
Because they're laughing at us.
But it's easy to check, and then if you see that it indeed does drop, what will that mean? That will mean it has to be a globe, right?
No.
Why not?
It's not possible.
I mean, I'm afraid it's the only possibility.
Fantastic.
Compared to what? Compared to what, Merle? What do you expect the universe to be like? What's fantastic?
Say, like, your imagination. Like, look at the genius of it like this. Just see it through my eyes for a second. Just for 1 second, say it's not real.
Okay.
Look at the lengths they've gone to make it seem like it is.
Yeah, that would be crazy. Which is, I guess,
that incredible?
It's incredible.
Isn't that incredible for a second?
Yes,
if you just
but it'd be more. I would. It is. If they went to, if it's not real, this links they went to try to convince you otherwise is insane. Which I actually say is more evidence. Is more evidence they didn't do this because they. Why in the world would they act so insane? As another piece of evidence we can put on the list of things for the globe.
I asked too.
Yeah, I don't look. The bottom line is that the evidence is there for you to get anytime you're ready to get it.
So insane.
I've seen it, man.
But you haven't. You're not even.
Like
you don't even see the grok when I'm saying about the horizon.
I'm 45 years old.
But you haven't looked into this enough.
Discussion at the forefront of it.
I don't think that's true.
Who do you think you're talking to, man?
Merle, then why would you not address the point about the horizon? Why will you not address that point? Why do you have nothing to say about that?
Me like I don't know.
Oh God, here you go with the rhetoric.
What you're talking about?
Well, then answer the question. Answer the point. Answer the point, man. Oh my Christ. Mo, you want to convince me?
I'm here.
You want to convince me that you are
known me?
Just tell me the answer.
How long have you known me, Spurs?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Right.
Have
we been in the discussion? Have we been in the discussion all these years, or was I imagining that?
Oh my Christ!
You're gonna be a king.
You are the best, Merle. But can you just actually express an answer to the thing that people brought up? That would be what would be really compelling.
Listen, we know.
Okay.
It's over.
I'm afraid it's not, but okay. I see that you are not going to engage in a real way.
It's over.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine for you.
I'll
that's fine.
keep living my life.
Yeah,
No
that's
problem.
fine.
And I've got no beef with you, your
Yeah.
dad. I think the
All right.
things that have been said about you are
But
fucking
what
pathetic.
specifically is over, Merle? What specifically is no more?
I renounce the globe. It's dead to
So
me.
when you say it's over, you mean you have gone from a position of not believing the Earth is a globe to a position of not believing the Earth is a globe.
I don't know what it is, Jam. I just don't believe it's a globe anymore, and I'm okay
Right.
with that. I've got no problem with you.
So when
I
you say
respect you as a
it's
person.
over in that dramatic way, what you mean is
Yeah.
nothing's changed at all. It's the same as
No.
it's been for the last 6 years.
Well, it's over for me in that I feel I have to prove it or argue with you. I'm happy to talk to you about anything you like. I love being in here. This whole experience has changed my life.
What about
for the
dark
better.
matter?
Well, actually,
You
Merle, it's far
you're a
from
good friend
over.
of
I
mine
get what
deep
you're
down,
saying.
John,
I
don't
know where you're coming from. You probably, I mean, it's like the ball earthers. They are sick of the discussion. They're sick of the same old argument. I get you're the same. You're sick of hearing the globe earthers repeat the same lies over and over again. But this is a marathon, Mel. You know, we've got so much more work to do in terms of raising awareness.
Not really. The whole world could wake up tomorrow, Spurs. And they fucking should. That people should be shaking this from the roofs. Ring the
that's
fucking
why I'm
bells.
saying unless we
It's
do what we
time.
do, and no one's going to
Just
know
ring the
about it,
bells.
right?
Everyone
Ring the
out
bells.
in their church and ring it and just go, oi, we're here and we fucking
Oi.
know what's up.
Merle,
It's not a globe.
I understand
and
you
we've
believe
been
that,
mugged
Merle.
off. We're
Merle,
in
who was-
lockdown.
You
We've
believe
fucking
that,
had
but,
enough of it.
but people
Leave
don't
us
agree with
alone.
you. But people
Merle,
don't agree
who
Yeah,
with
was-
I
you.
know
So,
people
so
don't
you can hold
agree.
that position.
That's
you can hold that
fine.
position. Yeah.
That's why it's so difficult because everybody's at different levels of thinking and we don't all agree. So how are we
Merle.
ever going to agree?
Mel,
if
so
we
what would
don't?
bring you back to the ball then? What can Veach do to convince you, or any other
I don't want to
Glober,
bring
or
him
any
back.
other
Like,
Glober,
he has the
or
right-
any other
He has
Glober,
the right.
or
He has
any
the
other
right to believe what he
Glober?
wants to believe.
I'm saying
Yeah, okay,
the
sorry.
question is, what can be done, Mel, to bring you back to their reality? What can be done?
Yeah. Yeah, Merle, which one was your favorite Spice Girl?
Hold on a second, Coach. I just asked Merle a question. That doesn't mean you
Scary,
ask another
scary.
question right after my
It's
question.
scary, Spice,
For
obviously.
goodness sakes. I'm saying to
Right.
Merle here, Merle, what evidence, what would you need? Because you're saying
We
it's
heard
over.
you, Timo.
You're saying it's over, and it's like, well, you know, there's a long way to go. These guys
No.
have, you know, been...
Listen. Why Scotty's chance? They're not. You know where I'm going with this. Sargent got his chance. People have had an opportunity to say something. I know if I got that opportunity, what I'd do with it. And I would speak to Earth.
What?
And I would say, we're in a situation here, guys. And this is really happening. It's not a conspiracy theory. The pizza dish with an ice wall and a dome over the top is a meme.
What are
It
NASA
was
doing
put
then,
there
Mel? What's
to
all this
get our
space
attention.
exploration? What are they spending their money on? How can you say it's over when half of these people believe that space is a real place, rockets are flying there? You know, you're saying that all these people are lying, liars, deceivers.
All that is happening, right? It's being televised. There's rockets. They've got all their stuff, but it's a show. It's a pantomime.
Can you answer Kimo's
enjoy.
question? Can you answer Kosho's question?
Yeah, I'm really curious about that, Merle. I was thinking about that earlier. Which one was your favorite Spice Girl back in the day?
Relevant. Lovely and relevant, isn't it?
Oh, here we go again.
No, that's a good point. I think
Not a
that
good
is-
point.
I think they were a great band. I think they all worked
Great.
to
It's a
each
trap.
other's strengths.
Just foul
I
for it,
kinda
Mel.
like
Well
Mel
done.
C, to be honest. Like, not.
Oh,
Is it
lighten
Mel
up,
C?
Kimo.
I know, relax.
Just say chemo spice and get it over with, Merle.
My favorite Spice Girl was all of them.
Yeah, like Baby was cool too.
Mark is here. Mark wants to talk flat Earth. He hasn't given up. He still realizes that people are lying. Is that right, Mark? He's still curious about why they lie, what the shape is, where the evidence is. Yeah.
I'm happy with it. I'm just
curious.
I'm absolutely happy with it. The Earth is flat. I know it's flat. That's all.
How do you know it's flat, Mark? What about all the evidence? What about all the pictures? What about the rockets? What about space? All the scientists. Surely they kind of got it wrong, Mark.
He's talking about his favorite stripper is named Earth.
Surely they couldn't have got that all wrong, Mark.
Well, they've got it all wrong. So like Greg was saying, Mel was saying, it's just a massive show, isn't it? Let's take all their money, let's give them a show, and let's hide the real reality of where we live. It's quite obvious.
Yeah, it's exciting, guys.
Exactly.
We're on the brink of something huge. Seriously, we are.
You know, if they wanted to play a big joke and steal our money, they could do it with a different program, like, I don't know, the post office or something like that, or one of the other programs that gets much more money than NASA does. Seems like a big waste, like a big charade just for this, pocket change comparatively.
It's one more small step towards ignorance for mankind. One giant leap towards ignorance for. I actually said that backwards.
Mark, what are you saying there? You're not asking the question anymore. You're not finding out if there's any evidence for the globe then. What's going on?
Is it me?
Mark, I'm saying Mark is the
Yeah.
Mark's the good talker. We want to hear from Mark.
Because you've just come into this, Mark, so already you've set in stone that it's not a globe. Yeah? Clear.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening.
It's probably not.
You've got all these globers, over 50 globers in here. Now, surely they can't all be wrong, right?
Well, help me out. What got you to be What got you to be a flat earther, man? What threw you over the edge? Any evidence?
Looking into it, and then things don't line up, things don't make sense, and then when you dive into science, you actually look at it, real science compared to what they give us.
But is there any positive?
Being sort of educated and looking into it, it's helped me realise that they've lied. So
Just
when
you
can see it,
now we're talking. Go on, Mark.
It's just a massive eye opener when you can actually see it. But I was just like you. I love space. I love watching sci-fi movies, but now I can't really bear to watch it.
Do you have an example though, Mark?
That makes no sense. They were always fictional, right?
Yeah.
They were always about something which isn't real.
Yeah, I agree.
And now you're saying, what? What's changed for you? They're still about something. They're still about something that's not real. So I don't get why you can't watch sci-fi movies. In fact, I will go so far as to say that is complete bullshit that all flat earthers just say.
Well, the Earth in those movies are supposed to be real, right?
Yeah, it depends on specifically which sci-fi movie, doesn't it?
They never show a fake Earth, do they?
Star Wars doesn't have Earth in it at all, does it?
Got blown up.
Star Trek does once in one of them, I think.
I can watch the Grinch, and I don't think that the Earth is on a dandelion.
When you know the truth.
But what made you think the truth, Mark? What specifically did you see that made you change your mind or made you believe that this was true?
What did I see?
You said science, but I'm curious what aspects of science, what particular thing?
All right, we're not spinning.
What makes you say that?
The world that we're on is not spinning.
Yeah, but what made you believe that? How did you come to believe that?
Helicopters, air balloons, aeroplanes, drones, kites.
Misunderstandings of how things should work.
Awesome.
So yeah, I mean, you know that we say that you're just not understanding physics. Then you don't understand the laws of motion, basically.
Well, break it down
because we're not spinning. Are we spinning?
Well, no, because you say the helicopters and the drones. Yes, we are. The helicopters and the drones tell you that we're not spinning. That's probably a mistake of you not understanding conservation of momentum.
Tell him why.
That's probably a mistake of you not understanding conservation of momentum, and maybe the third law also depends. But we run this all the time where we're like the physics 101 will tell you exactly how that works and how it is that can still tell us we're spinning, how it is that you should look to see if we're spinning, and then what the results of those experiments are. All that's all there.
So helicopters, aeroplanes, flight time should be different, correct?
In a flat plane, you mean?
No, we're here on a spinning sphere, spinning around.
They shouldn't be. They should not be different on a spinning globe.
Depending on what way you're going, right?
No. Conservation of momentum is what tells us that should not be the case. That's what I'm saying. You're saying that from intuition, but you're not. You don't have the
intuition is good, right? Intuition.
Well, it can be, but it can also be. But it can be dangerous too, because what you learned in Physics 101 is that conservation of momentum exists and is a real thing. And this conservation of momentum makes it so that you shouldn't expect the flight time.
Now I'm going to ask you something. Can you prove that to me right now?
Well, I can't prove anything. I can't prove anything. But
demonstrate, Mark. Mark, you can say demonstrate. Ask for a demonstration.
What I can do is provide evidence for stuff. What I can do is give you a compelling case for these things.
I could show you evidence why it doesn't, because flight time will be different.
But again, if you understand conservation of momentum, you'll see that those flight times are perfectly right.
If he, can you understand it to him?
Well, I mean, in theory, but you'd have to be open to learning.
Not let him respond though. How can he respond?
London to LA,
He's not a receiver.
Bring Mark.
He can't receive it.
Help him.
You're on the right path there, Mark, because the Earth should turn under the helicopter. Let's get Veach to explain why it's not. He hasn't really done that. He hasn't demonstrated it.
He hasn't.
It's called.
This is the sort of problem. What makes people flat earthers? You got.
Well, no, we can't
explain why helicopters.
Well, why is it?
We can't explain. See, this is what makes it hard to explain it, guys. Just so you know, though, Mark, this is why it hasn't been explained. It's because there's just no room in here. But it can be explained. It's fairly simple. Hold on.
No, you cannot.
I can't even finish that sentence, Kimo, because you have to jump in like that.
But that's not true. What you're saying? You just about.
It is. Listen to the room. How in the world are we gonna have a left? Jesus Christ! I can't. Like, there's no way to do it.
God has the floor, everybody.
Forget it.
Oh, let's move forward quickly, Jake. What's your response to this?
I was giving Scott the floor.
He doesn't want it right now. He'll be back in a second.
Go ahead.
Let Scott finish. Go, Scott.
No, it's fine. I'm not mad or anything. It's just not the right forum for that kind of stuff. But there is ways to learn this stuff. There's probably great YouTube videos to learn about conservation of momentum, and then you can see if you agree or not agree when you read. Like, see a really great educator teach you about it. That's probably the best thing to do.
Slow down a little bit.
Well, I have to speed up, otherwise somebody's going to jump in.
No,
if I don't go fast,
just calm
if
down.
I don't go fast, Kimo's going to jump in.
Or this is you.
Right now is going to jump.
This
Or
is
Kimo's
you. If
going
you
to jump in
calm
like you just
down.
did right there. Listen to him go. Listen to you go, Kimo. I cannot talk without you over talking me.
Just calm down.
Explain why helicopters.
Yeah.
I'm not moving.
Okay. All right. I'll try to explain it to you. So conservation of momentum is an idea in physics. Okay. The idea of this thing is that an object is going to continue moving. It's going to maintain its motion, unless there's a force that's going to act on it. All right. So when you're on the plane and you're flying in the plane, the reason why you can move around that plane in all directions in slow motion walking speed, while simultaneously going 500 miles an hour through the air, that thing that's going on there is conservation of momentum. When you jump up in that plane, the reason why you don't go flying to the back of the plane is the fact that you keep the momentum of that plane. You keep your motion, and you don't lose that motion just because you lose contact with this plane. You have it. You're going to keep that motion until a force acts on you. You have to have a force to act on you in order to change that momentum. Okay, so in the case of the helicopter, it's sitting on the ground. It's rotating with the Earth. You lift it off the ground. It's still moving the way it was moving on the ground with the Earth. That rotation is happening.
Scott. So you've lifted off the ground. So the Earth is now spinning underneath the helicopter.
But so is the helicopter.
So is the helicopter as well.
Yes, because there's no new force acting on it. It's still going to do what it was doing before. That's the conservation of momentum idea, right? Is that you need a new force to act on something in order to change what it's doing.
Question time, Veach. You got to let him ask you questions now. Come on.
He did. He asked me. He did. I just answered.
I did. That's what I wanted to.
So okay.
I wanted to stop him there to make sure he was clear of what he was saying.
So then, if the helicopter lifts off, right, and it still keeps that same motion, it doesn't lose it. If there was a force acting on it, it would. Like in the case of like an open bed truck, if you're standing in the back, when you jump up from that truck, you're going to hit the air, right? You're going to hit that air, and that air is going to slow you down. In the case of the Earth, that air is also rotating with the Earth, more or less. It has some local perturbations, but as a general whole body, it's rotating with the Earth. As we are, as the dandelions are, as the helicopter is, everything is moving. And so jumping off the surface doesn't change the fact that you're moving along with the Earth any more than jumping off the floor of the plane doesn't change the fact that you're moving along with the plane.
All right, it's a little bit long. Mark, any questions?
But it was a good explanation.
I still need to see this in reality, and it doesn't happen.
Flying Scotsman just posted a video of it happening in reality.
Yeah,
oh, yeah, that's a great
not
video.
what's
That's a
happening
great
on
video.
Earth. That's just the guy on a
happen in reality,
trampoline.
mate.
That's the guy on
What
a
do you mean?
trampoline, Jake. Relax.
But he's showing you conservation of momentum, Merle. He's showing it right there. Because they continue to keep that forward motion.
We've lifted off the ground.
But that's not what the heliocentric model is saying that's happening. So
I think I gave an example when I mentioned throwing a ball. When you throw a ball, it keeps going even though it's left your hand.
Is that
Terman?
That's right.
Hey, Scott.
Terman, is that Terman?
That was Terman, that's right. I had an idea, Scott, just so Chemo didn't have to jump in every 5 seconds, and also so we didn't have to rush and interrupt each other. Maybe we'll just do a thing where it's like we explain something to them or whatever, and we pass it on.
Do you seriously clear the conversation up to go through this again?
Yeah, I think we're done.
Scott, dude, I'm talking to the whole room actually, but yeah, I think that might be good. That way, Chemo doesn't have a reason to interject.
We've got topics on the table, and we're trying to figure out. Merle says it's over, but as we understand, it's not over because you still think we're on a ball.
I thought Matt was
Mark is
talking
inquiring here how the Earth is turning, and we're trying to figure out, well, if the Earth is turning, a helicopter levitates or hovers or whatever you want to call it. Earth should move underneath. If it moves under the gyroscope, if it moves under Bob's gyroscope and moves under the pendulum, then it should also move under helicopters and drones. Right, Mark?
Correct. Yes, correct. That's absolutely spot on.
Right.
That's a massive,
what you could also do,
red flag.
There we
go.
What you could also do is argue about it for the next 5 years.
As long as it takes, Mel, as long as it
"It's
takes.
not
Again, this
moving."
is a marathon, not a sprint. And, again, I get
Save
the frustrations.
yourself some time and trouble, guys, and just realize what could move, what force do you think, any of you, give me a challenge, what force could move the Earth? Any of you.
The better question is what force could stop the Earth?
Yeah, since it's already
force
moving.
could move this Earth? An invisible
Gravity of the
force.
sun. Gravity of the sun. Gravity of the
What's
sun.
that?
Gravity of the sun. Yeah,
What
gravity
else
of
you
the
got?
sun.
What else you got?
I mean, really, gravity of any planetary body.
So, see, Spurs, it's over. What else has he got? Nothing.
Got to keep digging.
I
Got to
mean,
keep digging,
lots of
Mel.
things.
This is not over until the. Well, let's not get it
Okay.
correct.
You know
but
what's going to happen?
you understand what I mean?
Just so I've realised what's going to happen, right? New people are going to come in. They don't know. They've got to
Start
go
all
through
over.
it. For however long they've got to go through it. When you realise it's not moving, that the sun and the moon revolve around the Earth, when you realise that, it's simple. It all makes sense. And it's over.
over.
That's when it's over. Like, you've just broken
I just spit
mind
my coffee
control.
all over myself.
That's
just
all.
makes
It's
sense.
over for me. Like, I'm out of
Alright.
the mind control, guys. I broke the matrix. I did it.
All right, Grim. Being as you
You
keep
should
on
be
there
happy
mumbling
for
and
me.
muttering, Grim.
Why
How
aren't you
can
happy
you
for
hold on,
me?
Mel?
Why is
Mel,
anybody
because you
saying-
keep on getting
Did you really
interrupted.
say mumbling and muttering? Did you say that really?
Right. So tell
When I
Mel
clearly
then. Can
just
you
laughed
answer?
and spit coffee all over myself?
Can
when he
you
said,
answer
that makes
Mel's
sense."
question then and tell us how
There was
you
no
know?
question.
We want to know how we're moving.
But that wasn't a question. That's not what he asked.
Yeah. Is that what we're asking, Mel? How we're moving, or not?
What force could make the Earth move?
And how do we
Again,
even know it's
my
moving?
question is what force could stop the Earth?
Let's answer the
Yeah,
first
it's
one
inertial
first.
The
momentum.
gravity of the sun is an answer to that.
What's
Very
the first
keeps
one,
it
Mark?
going.
What's the first one?
If the Earth was still, how would you get it moving?
When
You
was
just need
it
a big enough force.
still? When was it still?
But
Yeah,
even if
but
it was
still,
still,
it's
you just
still.
need a big
So
enough
how
force,
would you get it moving
Merle. You
from
need a big enough
standing
force,
start with an
and then
invisible
you
force?
you would just apply the force. So if you had the sun, you bring it near to the Earth, and it would move the Earth.
Yeah, what is
What's
the force?
the sun do?
What is the force?
Gravity. That's gravity of the sun.
And what is gravity?
You know, I mean, you know the answer. You know what we're going to say, and you know that we don't have an answer for the ultimate question of where does it come from and what's its
You
ultimate
can't
nature.
use
We
it.
don't know.
You can't use it.
Of
then.
course we can.
Oh,
Of course we
I
can. I don't know what magnetism really is, but I can use magnetism.
Use donkeys.
Of course
You
I
can't
can.
use it. It's invalid.
Of course we can. We don't have to know everything
It's
about something in order to invoke
invalid.
it.
You can't use it. So you're gonna have to.
But did you hear what I said, Mark? But Mark, did you hear what I said though? Did you hear what I said? Acknowledge what I said though. Because you can't. You don't have to know. You don't have to know everything.
You're making something up.
You don't
prove that the sun is
Okay, hold on.
the earth. Then
Hold on, Mark. Acknowledge what I said though, because
Okay,
what's
you're
so
making it
frustrating
up.
with you guys is that you never ever actually respond to the counter argument.
Yeah, I'm saying you're making it up. You're making a
So
word.
I'm saying I don't have to know everything about magnetism in order to use that. Is that correct?
That's different. We can physically touch a magnet. We can't touch
We
gravity.
can physically touch mass too. Mass and magnets are the equivalent.
So is gravity magnetism then?
No, but what it means is the analogy is supposed to say, I don't need to know everything about gravity in order to say that it's real, that it can be used, and we can talk about it, just like we can magnetism.
Right. I don't need to know the molecular structure of water to know that it will drown me if I breathe it.
You actually think the sun is moving the earth, guys?
Well, I'm saying that the sun is powerful enough to, and it is moving it. It's what keeps it in orbit.
You actually think the sun's traveling 500,000 miles an hour through the universe, guys?
Yes.
You
not that
actually think
unbelievable.
it's 93 million miles away,
Yes,
guys?
Yes, that's all evidence.
Don't be
evidence
dumb.
That's
Don't be
evidence,
dumb.
though,
Don't
Merle.
try to
You're literally
impress us
saying
with your big
you're saying
numbers.
don't be dumb, and you don't realize that the evidence says this. So how are we the dumb ones when we're just
there.
following the evidence? You can't tell
It's
with your
not
eyes,
doing
Merle.
what they're saying it's doing.
Merle, you
I
can't
know
tell,
it's
dude.
not.
I know, but you're just
Bullshit,
it's mystical.
dude.
It's mystical.
You don't think I can tell if the Earth's 93 million miles away or traveling 500,000 miles?
Not with your
an hour
eyes.
through
No,
the
I
galaxy?
don't think you can.
No one can.
You're fucking crazy if you think that.
No,
I
you
can't
just
tell
can't. I don't know why you think you can.
Why do you think you wouldn't be able to tell that?
Because you don't have the right cues to tell you how far away it is. You don't have any kind of context to give you a
think
relative
by
density.
looking at the sun, it's traveling 500,000 miles an hour.
What would indicate it to you?
Well, if you ask the same question again, I don't know.
I know,
Are
he's
you going
also
to answer a different
That's
answer? or
strange,
something?
guys. Have you ever really thought about what you even think?
Hey, you still
Well,
see
what
that
would
in
you?
the-
What would
Have you ever
indicate
thought
it?
about what
Yes.
you think?
How in the world would you know the distance of the sun just by looking at it? How would you know?
How would you think it if you haven't thought
a
about it?
voidless
That's
context.
fucking funny.
You don't know its
Grim.
size. You're just
See?
looking at it. You're just looking at it. How could you possibly
They're
tell
just
distance?
thoughts,
What would
Grim.
you
It's
use?
just information.
But what
I
would
know
you
you
use?
understand, Grim.
What would you
I'm there.
use
It's
to
all
tell the
bullshit,
distance,
Grim.
though? Oh, Merle, what
Look
would you
how
use to tell the?
They've confused us with ideas.
Merle, why
That's
is it that you
what's
can't
really
ever answer
happening
the question? Why
But
is it all
some
just rhetoric
people
with
in
you?
here want to promote the globe just to keep
Oh
it
my
going.
God. What's the
but
point of
it's
talking
over
to you,
for
Merle, when
some
you
of
do
us.
this? You're literally just being
I
rude as
never
hell.
think about the globe. It means nothing to
Okay,
me.
Merle.
That's the point.
Okay, Merle. Okay, Merle.
You've been
I'm
Merled.
outside it. I'm one of the only
Okay,
people
Merle.
who is. I'm
Scotty,
Well,
you've
thank you
outside
been
for
the
sharing,
Merled.
globe,
Merle.
guys. I
Thank you,
stepped
thank you,
off
Merle.
it.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you, thank you.
I'm outside
It
reality.
feels good.
Man.
It's better.
You've been
Makes
Merled,
me
Better.
man,
I'm
by a wild
outside of
animal.
reality.
You're literally just pure rhetoric right now, Merle. We have no context. You have nothing to say. You just want to make noise right now.
That's what
What
you're
about the
doing.
bionic man?
No,
Well,
I
he
asked
is
you
a
a question
magician.
you won't answer.
You're
I was trying to ask you a question. You just want to keep
regurgitating
over talking me.
information
You just
from
want to keep
Google.
saying, I know the truth I know. But you won't answer
Yeah,
the
and
question
you
that I
sound
asked.
like Google,
I'm asking you a
like an
question. I'm
AI
asking
from
you a
Google.
question. When's the last time Google asked you a
Nah,
question?
I've got
Yes.
my own thoughts.
My
I'd
question for
have my
you
own thoughts
is
than
how do
Google.
you think you're going to tell the distance? What would you use?
I don't
You don't have
care
an
what
answer.
they say.
You
It's
don't have an
bullshit.
answer, do you? You have no
God,
answer
you're
for me.
engaging way too hard.
I know. You have
It's not
rhetoric
that
for me, bro.
serious.
Well, it is to me
Quiet.
because
They're
you
not
just stepped over talking me. It makes me mad.
Oh, I know. I
I
get
can
that.
prove it's not what they tell us, and you guys
No,
don't
you
like
can't,
it.
bro. You
Yes,
really
I
can't.
can.
I
I
promise
could
you can't.
take any of you
5
any
minutes.
day of the
Every
week.
time you say that,
Try
I'll
to
tell you what you.
challenge
Okay,
me.
I'll tell you. All right,
Give
let me
me
challenge you.
one challenge.
I'll
Any
challenge
of
you.
you.
I'll challenge you, then I'll be quiet. I'll tell you give me one challenge. Usually, when you say this, you say, I can prove it. I can dismantle in one sentence or whatever. What you'll say next is, you'll basically say, elevation is the same thing as curvature. So, why is it that we can walk down and not fall off the bottom of the globe? Why is it that two people can both be looking down at each other on different spots of the globe? You'll basically say something that shows that you don't understand that down is different depending on where you're standing. And that's how you think you dismantle the globe.
But how is that giving me a challenge?
So my
Try
challenge
to
for you
give
is
me a challenge.
come up with something better than that
Try
as a way to
to
disprove the globe.
challenge my mind. See if you
Yeah.
can.
So, okay, well,
Just see if
then
you
I'll ask you
can.
a question. Here's a challenge for you. I challenge you to tell me how you would tell the distance to the sun using just your eyes. What would you use as an indicator of how far away it is?
Well, what you've got to do.
I'd advise my client not to answer the question.
I mean, there are all sorts of ways. If
Don't
you're
worry, he
someone
knows
who goes fishing, you throw balls, you make.
Guys, Merle was
you
asked
make,
a question, then he would start answering the question.
if you make estimated measurements, you can say, well, that's about that far or this far. If you're a golfer, for example, you've got to hit the ball at a particular... How do they know how far they should hit it or not? They know they can judge about where the hole is, and they know how far they need to not overhit or underhit. Now, if they were trying to hit a ball to the sun, they would know that, okay, we don't need to hit it 93 million miles away. We need about 4,000 miles.
But they know the size of the ball, though.
You
That's
see,
the problem.
Veach, that's how you think. Use your own brain to come up with the solutions like this. Using your own eyes and just judge it. You might not
So
get
what's the
exact,
size of the sun?
You might not get the exact distance, but people like Tiger Woods, they don't get holes in ones for no reason, right? They do calculations in their brains and think, well, I got to hit it this hard because it's this far, and that's the distance. He didn't measure it himself, did he? Did he actually go on the golf course and say, right, this is how far the hole is? No.
Yeah, that image of the clouds on Mount Rainier going, or the shadow being cast on from Mount Rainier. How far away are they?
Well, again, a golfer would tally if there was a hole there that they had to put. They would be able to get in and around.
No, a golfer can't hit that far.
No, if
we know
he
it's farther than
could,
that.
then he would be able to judge and measure to get a hole
well,
in
he
one.
can't. So how far away is that? How far away is that mountain?
He doesn't have to know the distance. Again, he can judge it if it's that far.
Can I
Yes,
just finish off with Veach? Is that all right? And then I'll shut up.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
You'll appreciate it, everyone. Veach, are you here?
I guarantee you he won't appreciate it.
Okay, well, what if he is right and it is a computer simulation that appears biological and physical?
I was making a model. That was the only possible way I was able to conclude it was a flat Earth.
Look, we've got Kurd for the Jokes Co show. Don't need another.
Thank you, Kimo. I was talking to Merle.
Well, even if it's a simulation, it's simulated as a globe. It's as simple as that.
Well,
it presents as a globe.
It doesn't.
I'm glad
present
Scott
as
jumped
a
in.
globe. You can. We've been shown a globe, but it doesn't present as a globe. But what the ground appears as is just a
globe.
Extends in every direction from where you're standing, but the sky looks kind of curved, if I'm being honest, at night with all the stars.
Boom.
I wouldn't say the Earth looks like that.
I think the sky is actually flat.
Yeah.
Like a box, horizontal.
Two planes,
like a mirror.
right? Two planes.
Like a mirror.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, interesting.
So there's no horizon. Nothing would appear on the horizon.
Because it's measured flat as well, the sky.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing would appear on the horizon.
So
How we
it could be a
measure it.
cube.
We measure it
You're
flat.
saying it could be a cube, Mark?
No, I'm just saying it's not a cube. It's actually measured flat. We measure the sky flat.
So
That's a fact.
wouldn't that mean that everything, that we wouldn't have a horizon? There would be just a blank spot between the sky and the surface.
No. The sky is measured flat. It's actually measured flat. You can look this up.
I think Mr. Wise, he's a scientist in here. He did this experiment, did a test.
The universe.
Where he, that's right, Mr. Reality. He did a test where he was looking at the sky in the morning, and what he observed was a sun rising, and it was like pink where the clouds were where the sun was rising at, and right across the sky, apparently on a straight line from the sun, the sky behind him, it was pink. It was a pink sky, from the morning. So the sun that was reaching the front was pink, and the sun where it was coming from was pink. But all the clouds above his head, which were seemingly not at the same level, or not at the same, it was above that straight line, and it was white. the clouds above them were white. So it was almost like there was a straight line moving across the earth from where the sun was to the other side. And then
So what are you trying to say, Kosho? Is it flat?
I'm saying that it's just like if you had a laser in the
It's
water.
like a mirror. Like a
You
mirror.
had a laser in the water, and then the hump of Earth curve was actually obstructing the laser. I'm saying the sunlight in this example would be like the straight line laser light. And
So would you say the sky is measured flat?
Well, I'm saying no. There's a hump of sky above Waz's head in this test.
So there's a hump.
He shows that to be true. Yeah.
Okay.
Mark, your Dwayne Kellum video that you posted earlier, and I'm just now, because it's calmed down, shows that the sky doesn't measure flat. Neither does the Earth.
No, he
So
needs to. He does.
Can
He
you
is
provide
actually
us a
measured flat.
citation?
You can look it up.
Can you
can look it up? Look it
Well,
up.
yeah, I'm not gonna look it up. You can
I'll look it
provide
up for you.
your
I'll do
citation.
I'll do your job for you.
Well, it's not my work. It's your claim. So support your claim.
The sky is flat.
It's measured flat. Measured maths. Measured flat. It's measured.
And they call
Provide
it the
your
astral
citation.
plane.
Measured flat.
The
With measurement.
astral plane, right?
Yeah, it's
Plane
measured
of
flat.
existence. Right?
You see something else about the
Plane.
sky, sir? Mr. Matt or
Layers,
Mr.
levels.
Calculation.
Hey,
Why
Merle,
do
did
they
you-
say levels as well? Maybe the sky's another level. You get me? We're on one level, and then there's another level. Then there's another level above that.
That's true.
Levels.
Hey, Merle, did you tell Chemo and Mark about the that simulation? Or I'm sorry, not simulation. That video I made yesterday? The
Yep.
one involving this picture? You remember? You get Merle praised me on this. So did Lemon. They gave me high praise for this simulation about the show.